Mana
Bum, bum, ba-da-dum.
mana
Bum, ba-da-da.
mana
Bum, bum, ba-da-dum.
na.
Welcome to Dice Junkies. I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with
Q.
and on Skype.
There's Blood Axe.
All right, so we'll move on to our next topic, which is going to be the Apple and Epic trial. All right, this one has been one I've been keeping an eye on for a good bit. Right when the injunction or decision was made, there was a lot of things getting thrown out there that may have been misinformation or miscalculations. I was sort of annoyed with what I heard from people as the original verdict, but I mean, after reading some more articles, if what I'm gathering is true, it's not bad for Apple. Most people say Apple and Epic both lost. BloodX?
Well, no, actually it can be, especially since with the decision was made that developers of applications can now offer different methods in order to purchase in-game content. Which, I mean, Apple was getting 30% of that through the exclusivity of their Apple Store. Well, now you can purchase things off of their website and have it transfer in game. So there would be a financial reduction for Apple in the end. Now, some people have already ready and geared up for it, but I do think this will end up causing more problems for Apple in the future.
I do agree, and I don't agree with some of what you said. As far as costing them money, I do agree it will cost them money. That's why I said I don't think it's going to hurt them, though, because I don't think it's going to cost them enough money to really be a significant hit. The big thing is what was allowed is for an external link to be displayed to be able to purchase things from a different site, or a different location. It did not allow for there to be actual additional in-app markets, though. I'm getting some feedback from you, Blood Axe, on my voice. So for the most part, we're talking it's going to be something like, okay, so previous company I worked for, they sell a subscription service. One of the things we couldn't do was link to our website because our website had information on purchasing the product. And through Apple, we would have to go through them for that service, or they want to cut. So we just had to remove the link entirely so they'd allow us on their app store. Now that would be okay. Basically, by this verdict, now they could go to our that website and they could sign up for most apps, though. Like if you're talking about somebody's Bejeweled type app, Connect 4 or whatever. Those are some weird companies. Like I don't even trust having it installed on my phone on a lot of those. But I definitely ain't going to their website, putting in my credit card information and trusting them with that stuff. It's one of the things that Apple actually gives their consumers is a little bit of faith in the payment process because it's all going through Apple. They're only sharing their payment information with Apple, and they're not having to put that in. It's also just out of laziness. He mentioned this to me. He was like, yeah, man, I can click a button over here and pay for something.
I'm already signed up with Google.
Yeah.
Like I was telling him, I said, I don't have to put in my information. I don't have to give it to anyone. I go through and go, I'm using my Google sign in to do all of this. And when people click this link, it's going to be like, okay, we need your credit card. We need all of this. A lot of people are going to stop right there and be like, whoa, hey, when I buy this through Apple, I don't have to do all that because Apple Store handles all this.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I said is the second you have a problem and you call Apple and go, something's wrong, and they go, oh, okay, where'd you get it? Oh, we clicked this link. Oh, bye.
Yeah.
Because they don't owe you anything anymore. You lose. Dude, even I have to say this. I don't like Apple as a product for me. But I don't know anything about it. When my parents have a problem, they go to the Apple store and they just hand them the phone and they fix everything. Like their Apple's customer service is fucking amazing.
No, I've heard
it is amazing.
I've heard from many people that have Apple that have said they've bought something through the Apple store, didn't like it or didn't get what they said they're supposed to get. They messaged Apple. Apple immediately refunded their money. There was no real questions asked. So,
and you're going to lose all that. So I think that you're right, they're going to lose money, but some people are predicting way too much. I believe that people that have Apple products are aware of why they like Apple products and are not going to suddenly become idiots and start clicking all this other third-party and off-site stuff. They're going to be like, no, especially because, like I said, what did you say? Sometimes it'll give you that message. You ever had that message pop up, BloodX, where it says, hey, you're leaving our site. You're going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, I go back every time. I immediately go, no, I don't want to leave this site. I don't want to go somewhere else for this transaction.
Well, we also had a situation where one of my sons decided he wanted to figure out my password and then went and downloaded like some kind of Roblox membership service, which gave him like 2,000 Robux and all kinds of other game content. Well, I got this bill through my iTunes account. Like, what the hell is this? And so I called customer. Well, first of all, I figured out that there was a new subscription that we didn't normally have. I called Apple and they go, oh, well, what'd you do about it? And I said, well, I changed my password and I scolded my son. And can you just go ahead and disable, purchases from this device? And I gave them all four of my son's tablets. And they go, done. And we'll go ahead and refund the money back to you.
Yeah.
See, that's Apple service.
Exactly. They're like, oh, we're so sorry. We'll go ahead and refund it to you. He got to keep the content, but he also got a stern talking to, and he got suspended from his tablet for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
but, that's what you deal with when you deal with Apple. But you're right. If you call Apple, hey, I clicked on the shady link in this program, and I gave them, and they charged me 10 times what I thought it was. Well, you need to call the developer. And you call the developer. No, you need to call Apple. Well, Apple said to call you. Nope, you need to call the. So
Roblox is just gonna say F you and hang up, man. Roblox is all about chintzing kids out of money. Like, I've been in a Roblox site. I watch what my son does. You call Roblox, they're gonna be like, sucker, click.
Yeah.
So I don't. Well, they're gonna lose some because there's gonna be some people that do it, or some companies may actually not offer through the store. It may be like the only way you can get it is here. But I don't think that's going to work out. I think more people are going to choose. I think at least enough people are going to go, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
That it's not going to destroy the Apple profit margin.
As soon as stories start coming out, like,
that's a good one about how they fixed it, but the opposite.
But the opposite of that, where it doesn't get fixed, a lot of people are going to, and I wouldn't. I wouldn't doubt Apple to try to put in a way to block it where you could turn it off. An
option
eventually
for parents on their children's devices to block third-party links.
Yeah,
which is perfectly legal. Parents have the right to do that to those devices.
Mm-hmm. The only injunction they said is basically, according to a new injunction, will soon prevent Apple from banning buttons, external links, or other calls to action that direct users to other payment mechanisms. So that is that's all that really got as far as
didn't get the monopoly.
Yeah, as far as the right to require its in-app payment options, that wasn't. They did get a little bit of a warning with the monopoly one. They're like, you're not a monopoly yet.
Yeah. Well, we don't have enough evidence to prove your monopoly was brought up. So they're like, watch it. But but the funny thing to me is that Epic got nothing. They actually have to pay the 30% they stole from selling stuff on the slide. They actually said, no, you're going to fulfill your contract. 2, no, Apple does not have to remount Fortnite, which I was just, That's like chocolate, man. That's like fucking Godiva chocolate. Like, wow. Like, I actually just felt endorphins. I feel so good. Just saying. I'm not even joking. I feel better. I actually feel physically better going, oh, you got nothing. Fuck Fortnite. And on top of that, like, they like I said, they got to pay the money. They don't get to remount Fortnite. They didn't get the Monopoly. They don't get to put their own store on iDevices. They got nothing. Epic got nothing. Now, they're already appealing, which I actually like, because please blow as much money as you can, Epic. I hope you get more damage charges. I want you to fucking fail so much. So please don't give up the fight. Go, Epic, go. Go, Epic, go. Keep going, baby. Just burn that bridge to the ground.
Yeah, not 2 days after this. Today they have already filed an appeal to the Ninth Circuit. So we'll see what happens. I mean, this will be something we, I guess, continue to follow. But as of right now, it does not look good for Epic. And Apple got a slap on the wrist and said, hey, at least let them link to their shit.
The biggest problem with the appeal, though, is that now that people can link to the other payment methods, their main argument's gone. Like, it really is. Like, it's like, but people can now. What we want to do it in-app. That's not how that works, dude. I don't think they'll get the in-app because you can't set up a taco stand in my fucking living room. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't actually. Now, if you want to set up a taco stand across the street and people can walk across the street and get a taco, which is effectively what here, that's fine. But no, you can't make people allow you to do shit in their app. Like, that sounds like a horrific breach of that company's right to their own product. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen similar. Go ahead, BloodX.
Not to mention, that's going to be a huge breach in security because you're allowing a third-party application, not through the Google Store, taking sensitive financial data through
your app. Yeah, you could steal. They could steal your customers' information.
Right, and not only steal that, but you also open up another hole for other security measures to be broken through that application. And that's a very common method for hackers to be able to get into other networks is through a security breach like that.
It's also a lot of access to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, man.
I'm just saying that it's not just we're trying to keep Epic from being able to make more money. We're trying to protect our customers, and there's not a way that Epic can successfully argue that. Now, can they argue that Apple's charging them too much? Probably. But they also didn't focus on Apple charging the developers too much. You're screwing with Epic, and if they had gone with the larger group as a whole, they probably would have had more of a leg to stand on than just say, "Oh, poor little old me, you're fucking with Fortnite." So yeah, it's going to play out, but I do agree that unless they're able to change their claim of how Apple is damaging other brands, they're not going to win an appeal.
Well, also, they did make a concession with the 15% on the first million as well. But also, like, I'm asking actually Zeno this, is like, isn't that also, by allowing them to put that directly on it, isn't that also, like, giving a lot of access to their freaking, just their straight-up code, their app, if you let that third party be, directly running through it? Like, I don't know, not a programmer, but I feel like that feels like that's I think that's what y'all may be saying already, is that feels like a huge security hole.
It depends on how far they go with it. I mean, if it's just inside their app, then it's just like sending them their data through a web page or something like that. Either way, it does open up a hole though, because you are adding extra layers. You're gonna have to most likely add additional permissions for taking in-app payments and stuff like that. The data that gets transferred,
like allowing foreign code into your code. It just feels. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but it feels really.
I don't think they'd have to give them any kind of root access or anything like that. So it would still just be a Surface app. It would just be that payments through those apps wouldn't be secure or as secure because they don't have root access. That's one of the advantages of like Google and Apple's own payment system, is it's somewhat embedded into the heart of the code, and there's no because here's the other thing. So if I have an external payment system, well, they're not en route. They're not as deeply hidden. So there may be a chance for other applications to, so not just a whole,
just track all that back and forth communication. The lines can be tapped.
So I mean, there's several different things. I'm not well enough in development to be able to really say just how many, but there's definitely some flaws, and it is a less, no matter what, it is a less secure payment method.
Yeah, like it freaks me out that the idea that I'm just like, I don't think I'd want to even make a payment through a place that was doing that. Like if I found out like, oh, you've got all these third party things implied to it that aren't even part, I would immediately like red flags. It just hits my paranoia. We'll call it paranoia. So that's why I don't think it'll happen, because I think it would actually be terrible for everyone involved, because I think people like me and cautious people would just stop spending on that game. We'd be like, oh, well, I'm not making any purchases anymore, and nobody's making money.
Well, like I said, when I first heard of the actual decision and what people were saying, I thought the court had overstepped its bounds. As I read more into it, this seems well within standard to prevent monopoly. We've seen this done with Windows, where Internet Explorer was the default web browser. Now they have to show the options of, hey, this is ours, we think it's better, but there's these other options too. Here's links to them.
Firefox,
Firefox, Chrome. So you've seen those types of options being given before, and not really affecting too much. I mean, for the longest, I mean, I guess we did see a pretty big drop in Internet Explorer from when that injunction was done, but also it was just.
But in that instance,
there was much better options.
But in this case, as much as it's going to hurt me to say this, Apple's the better option. If you have an Apple device, do it through the Apple Store. Well, I would never own an Apple device and actually use a third party.
And that's why I say I don't think this will really affect Apple, because they do have the better option.
Yeah, it is better. Like, remember, I mocked our friend Jarek because, like, he had downloaded something to run Windows on his Apple device, and I was like, that defeats the purpose of having an Apple device. I was like, dude, if I had an Apple device, I'm running Apple. Like, I'm going to keep the nice, tight package going.
Yes and no.
There are reasons to run it. Like, for example, for our Friday Night Gaming group, I had a hell of a time getting Hero to Lab to work on my Mac. And I debated getting a Windows emulators just so I could run it, until I finally found a thread that showed me how to be able to download, install, and update on my Mac. So there are certain reasons why you would want to have a second operating system on your Mac, but to run everything, you're right, that would be absolutely pointless.
Yeah, and he's not running everything. He's using it as a virtual machine just to run things that have to have Windows. So I have to disagree with Q's taunting of Jarek, as much as I like to taunt Jarek. And
oh, no, I'm pretty sure he knows what he's doing. If anybody, now I will say this, if there's anybody that's doing it right, it's Jarek. Like, the guy's effing amazing. But I couldn't pass that chance just at first to be like, that you was an Apple fanboy while you trying to run our Windows.
Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Dicejunkies and shit. Go to Dicejunkies.com, where you can find links to everywhere we can be found online. Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, all that good stuff. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching. And as every week, we hope you enjoyed.
That's what you can do when you have a reputation, but nobody trusts Disney. Did Disney tell you something, you're going to immediately go, let me go check that. Like, or I'm sorry, I shouldn't say them in particular. Large corporations that have not fostered a trustworthy reputation, you don't immediately believe what they say. They don't have your trust. You doubt them. You double check them. When a movie comes out from these big companies, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you were going to be quick. Remember, I just wanted to remind you.
Yeah, I'm done.